So why not get rid of grades in school? That's a question asked in the Washington Post this morning. Best-selling author Daniel Pink points out that 20 years ago, the average GPA at Harvard was 3.4. Today, it's 3.8. Nearly 80% of grades at Harvard are A's and A minuses. It's the same story at Yale. Pink says that grade inflation proves that grades don't matter. And they certainly don't matter when it comes to learning. He writes, decades of research at all levels of education has shown grades promote short-term performance over long-term understanding. Grades encourage superficial studying and outright cheating and can undermine a student's genuine interest in the material. He points to getting nothing but A's in 6 years of high school and college French without being able to speak the language. I'm going to go ahead and toss it to you, Angela. And the reason why I'm tossing it to you, because right now, I'm going to put your business in the street. Right now, you have a daughter that's in college. And right now, you have a daughter that's in high school. That is, she's going to be going on her way to college within the next 2 years. My father told me in 5th grade when I had 2 F's on my report card. I was crying. I was scared. I thought he was going to, because my mom went off on me. I was on punishment. I got in trouble. All of those things. Mm-hmm. And my dad was in the driver's seat. He lit up a choke. He called cigarettes choked. This is back in the day when your mom and your daddy smoked in the car with you. He lights his cigarette up. He's got it hanging from the corner of his mouth. He took my grades out of that yellow manila envelope, which to this day, manila envelopes trigger me. If y'all know, you know, because that's what our report cards used to come in. So when it came in that, we go, he says, champ, grades don't matter.
There's no doubt the system is broken. Mm-hmm. But this is, I think the idea of getting rid of grades is, once again, overreacting to a problem and going to the extreme end. Okay. At the end of the day, you cannot manage what you do not measure. Mm-hmm. Now, here's the problem with the current system. Mm-hmm. There's grade inflation, no doubt. Mm-hmm. I think I told the story of my daughter in college and the admissions officer saying 70% of the students had 4.0s, so we had to look at other things in the admissions process. Mm-hmm. So I think the problem is, or here's what I do like. Mm-hmm. Many times on the report cards, you just see a grade. You're not getting how your kid is doing. When my daughters did go to a middle school that did not give grades in the traditional sense. They gave narrative-based, which is what this author is proposing, that you actually go to a narrative system that explains what they're doing well, where they're struggling, what they need to work on. A grade doesn't give you that. So the narrative, you actually get detail. Your daughter, Ava, she's doing really well with these types of equations, struggling with this one, but we're working on this. Isn't that helpful to actually help you learn? I love that. But the idea of taking away grades, what you're risking, G, if you take them away, is people falling through the cracks and nobody noticing.
Mm-hmm. I agree. You're right.
What?
On that, because you are right about that point. Mm-hmm. How about this? Grades don't matter for 80% of us in school. Grades are only for the top 10, 20%.
When you say they don't matter, what do you mean they don't matter? Don't matter for what?
Because what ends up happening is there are, I don't know if you guys remember this. There was a point in my life that the thought of going to school made me nauseous. Mm. And it made me nauseous not because, not necessarily I want to learn. It was that there was one point in my life where I did not understand how to get a good grade. I didn't know how to do that. So I was getting bad grades. So I'm going to go to a place where that is a place that I hate it. And some of you listening right now, you maybe skip school. You maybe stop going to school because you didn't like that feeling. That feeling of that teacher or your parent or someone judging you because you got a D, because you got a C. So then you have this I don't care method. And so what I'm saying is I think 80% of us are in that category. Now, there are also people that are really smart. There's that person that you know, maybe it's you. You didn't have to study. It was easy for you. As a matter of fact, you got A's and it was no problem. Great. Good for you. But we have systems in place where you can go get tutors. You learn how to game the test scores, the SAT, and back in the day, ACT, back in our days. You know what I mean? Like, there are things that you can do to game the system.
Absolutely.
So
and they're doing it.
It reminds me, and I want to speak it to sports. Of course, G finds a way to bring sports in this. You ever see the parent post a picture? My baby's team won 76-6 in a basketball game. You ever be a part of a team where winning is the only thing that matters? So you've been doing all this winning, and then at the very end, you realize, well, wait a minute, my baby didn't get better. So my question to everyone, and by the way, when it happens in the sports world, in youth sports, this is why some of us parents are crazy. Because the parents care more about playing time and winning than you do development. So this is where we are at today in our society. You care more about the letter of the grade than that child getting smart. And this is why you hear and see people with 1.8s, 2.0 GPAs that are really smart. One of the smartest people that I know in the world. Chef, what was your grade point average again?
1.8 or something like that.
Chef is one of the smartest people I've ever met in my life.
How many people have you met who are outstanding in some area of their life, who learned in school that they were nothing but average or below average?
Yeah. You know, that's such a great point. This article cites this Goodhart's law, which is that once the measure becomes a target, it's no longer a good measure because, to your point, G, you're not paying attention to other things that matter. You're solely focused on that thing.
You're just focused on the grade.
Well, I'll conclude with clock it. Do you know what that means? My daughter said when someone makes an excellent point, I just say clock it.
Oh.
Or they do.
This is a Gen Alpha, Gen Z thing.
Clock it.
And you on the board.
What's up?
You look like you were smart in school.
My
tell.
grades did not reflect that.
Amen, brother.
Do you want to be a politician? That was good. That was good.
Look, this topic of grades is one that I feel that there's a majority of us can talk about. There's only a small few that can be like, what are you talking about? I got all A's all the time. I've never met a successful person in my life where you're like, oh, well, how'd you do it? Well, you know, G, I got straight A's. Not one time.
Okay, but you know what? Okay, I just have to come out in my daughter's defense.
Okay.
Because she's a straight A student.
Yeah.
But she has a concert tonight. You know what she did?
What'd she do?
Sold her ticket. She's like, I have a test on Tuesday. She studied all weekend.
She's awesome.
So it's one thing for
She's
people
awesome.
who just get A's, but
Yeah.
I'm saying there is something to be said for those that are like, I'm grinding, I'm working.
Yeah.